Hi Alex, I'm going to talk to you today about food. Usually for breakfast I have one of two things. One, total with berries.
I love berries.
Or two, bagels with cream cheese. For lunch I usually try to go out to find a vegetarian sandwich. Any kind of vegetarian sandwich. The vegetarian sandwiches I have had are mozzarella, tomato, and pesto, or brie and cranberries, or some combination of mozzarella, leaves, and tomato. That's what they got for vegetarians. For dinner, I usually cook myself spinach and cheese tortellini. It's very good. Every once in a while, I go out for dinner. Some notable places are Pizza Express, which is a chain of high-end pizza. It's the cool kind of pizza with like Italian kind of pizza where it's thin crust and you can roll it up and have it in like 2 bites. Awesome. Or I tend to go to an Italian restaurant where there is some kind of noodle. They don't do cheesy things here. You try to go to the supermarket, there's no mac and cheese. You try to go to an Italian restaurant, there's no Alfredo sauce. You try to go anywhere, there's no like cheesy sauce. They don't know how to make a cheesy sauce. They don't know how to make a cheesy sauce. I don't know what it is. Frustrating. That's what it is. I also went to an Indian restaurant, and apparently Indian in England is a big thing here. Like, it's not Indian. It's not like traditional Indian food. If you were to go to India, it's not the same kind of food that if you get Indian food here. But it is apparently very good that people come from India to come to Britain to have British Indian food. It's like a thing, and I had it with some old friends of the family apparently, and it was pretty. I know. I usually don't like Asian food, but it was okay. It was okay. I haven't had fish and chips yet. I'm sorry. I've been avoiding the fish part of the fish and chips. For those of you who don't know, chips in England refer to what Americans would call French fries. And then you say, well, then what are chips? Those are called crisps, which makes slightly more sense since they're crisp and I don't really know what chip is. I guess a chip off of a potato, but it's not really a chip. It's like a I don't know. I don't know why we call chips chips. Etymology of that would be interesting. Some notes about the food here in general, making it sound like there's not many choices, and it's true. There aren't many choices. If you go to any bar, you're going to see essentially the same menu. That mozzarella, tomato, and basil I was telling you about, it's everywhere. That's the vegetarian option, which, when toasted, very good. Awesome. And even when you go to a restaurant, you look at the menu, and one, there's not many options for a vegetarian like me. But, there's usually not, so deal with it. But then, on top of that, like, there's just not many choices in general, as there are back in the States. I'm used to, like, small typing, fine print, but this is like, here you go, it's well spaced. There's probably like maybe 10 items total you could have for like 5 starters or 5 mains, and those are your choices. And it's like, oh, okay. Even at like Pizza Express, this sort of this chain, there are maybe more options there, but it's like it doesn't feel like as many. Maybe it's just because I'm away from the States. Maybe it was the same way back in the States and I just didn't notice. It feels like there are way more options. To top it all off, not only are there fewer options, but the options that you have when you get them, the portion sizes are smaller. This is okay. That's fine. It really is. I don't mind. It's just interesting. It's usually like you eat and you're like, oh, good. I have eaten now. You never feel, you're not necessarily full, but you're not necessarily empty either. You've had food. It's a good amount. I like it, but they are smaller. So maybe I have a little bit of a problem, but it's okay. I I won't complain. I'm here. I have to eat, so there you go. So in short, I eat a limited menu Menus are already limited as it is, and then when you get your items, it is a smaller portion than you might be used to when you're back in the States. That is my analysis on food in England. I've heard people stereotype about the quality of the food. I couldn't really tell you about the quality of food. I like the food. It's good. It tastes good. Not many options. The different restaurants that you go to can be very varied. You just have to look for them. But once you get there, there aren't many options. And then the portion sizes are small. But that's basically it. I'm making one of these just because I need to. It's getting up to deadline time for journal entries. And so here it is. Hope you enjoyed. I hope everyone else enjoyed as well. And guess what it's time for? It's time for me to go.